Hey YouTube, welcome to Arcane Armory, and today we're starting a new series on the repair of this rifle. It is a 1903 Springfield Mark I, according to the serial number. It was produced in 1909. 1919. And before you yell at me, I didn't sporterize it. I don't know when it got sporterized. I don't know who did it, but I bought this rifle because it was a clunker and there's a lot of things for us to fix. And so I'd like to go through the visual evaluation, and then when we get done with that, we'll move on to the mechanical to make sure it's safe to shoot. And then after that, we'll go on to the visual inspection and see if it actually shoots worth a damn. So to start off with, this particular rifle is kind of a clunker, but the main thing that the first thing we noticed when inspecting this is that there's no markings whatsoever on the barrel. So there's nothing here on the chamber area to designate what caliber this is actually chambered for. And being that it's over 100 years old, it's hard to tell what somebody may have actually chambered this for. We did measure the bore, and it is a 30 caliber bore, so my initial bet is that it is a 30-06. But there's no guarantees. So in the mechanical phase of this, we're going to do a chamber casting, and we'll figure out exactly what it is. So as you can see, there's no original sights left on it. The receiver's been drilled and tapped for these two little bastard Picatinny rails, which I'll show them in the other camera here, which are suspect, I'd say. One of them has the edge shaved off here. I don't know if there was a problem with these where they were not the same, but either way, one of them shaved off, the other one's not. So we'll check the alignment when we get into that. Sorry, everybody around here drives a race car, so we just gotta deal with the noise. So, I guess started the butt of the rifle. We can notice here that this is an older recoil pad, and it doesn't fit all that well. It's kind of cocked off to one side. It doesn't line up with the profile of stock, and it doesn't really give us a very good appearance. Next thing, overall finish of this rifle is worn out. It needs to be refinished, so we're not going to get into that very much. It's just got a lot of blemishes in it, and there's a lot of areas that there's dents and scratches. There's a couple of pretty nasty gouges here and here. See if I can get those in there. Pretty nasty gouges here. There's a couple more pretty nasty gouges here, and there's a really nasty one right here. So I'm hoping that when we sand this and try and refinish it, we can take some of that sawdust and fill some of that in. The other big thing with this is it looks like the checkering it's pretty uniform all over the place. It just looks like it's never been finished. So I don't know if we can see here, there's a lot of the diamonds are flattened off. So I don't know if somebody tried to refinish this stock and sanded the tops off of those diamonds, or if it just never got finished. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and see if we can recut that checkering. Our pistol grip cap, it doesn't fit particularly well either. None of the lines match up around the edges of it. The cap itself looks like it's in okay shape, albeit cheap and ugly. The spacer ring underneath doesn't line up with the pistol grip, so that's something we want to take care of. It's just all these little things kind of add up. The rear sling swivel is missing. The front sling swivel is loose, and the hardware's boogered up. And then because it's a Mark I, there's a special device that's designed to go into this receiver. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but the stock is not clearanced here to accommodate that. Additionally, 1903s have what's essentially a magazine disconnect, and that allows you to feed from the magazine or to insert rounds one at a time with a full magazine and not strip them out of the magazine. Again, the stock here has not been clearanced here to allow this to move, and so all we get is normal function and then the takedown position to allow the bolt to be removed. So we want to go ahead and fix that so that the action operates as it's supposed to. As far as the metal finish on this particular rifle, it's overall pretty good. The hardware on the bottom especially is in pretty good shape. It's shiny, it's not scratched up and marred. There's a little touch-up work that can get done. The hardware is nicely blued, and a lot of it's not even boogered up. So that's a pretty nice sign. Somebody that knew what they were doing was working on it at some point. The finish on the barrel is kind of interesting because it's nicely blued, but it wasn't very nicely sanded, and you can see the scratches in the finish underneath the bluing. So we're going to maybe refinish the barrel, but we've got some evaluation to do, see if we were even going to keep this barrel. Additionally, one thing we noticed, which was kind of weird, is right here, there's a bulge in this barrel. Now, you can kind of see it if you take a straight edge and put it on there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in either one of these shots here, but there's definitely movement there where it's not straight. Down here, you put it on there, and the straight edge sits flat against the barrel, indicating that it's at least a consistent angle. This bulge is concerning because we don't know if that is a result of hand profiling, where they didn't get everything straightened out when they reshaped this barrel, or if it's a pressure bulge from inside. So one of the first things we're going to do when we do the mechanical evaluation is check out that bulge and see if this barrel is junk or even worth keeping. So I think that pretty much wraps up our visual inspection of this particular rifle. We've got a list here that I've been working on, but some of the stuff is going to carry over to the mechanical side. So one thing we're going to check out in the mechanical inspection is going to be this bulge. It's one other thing is the bolt handle has not been clearanced. So when you close the bolt, it actually hits the stop before the bolt goes into full lock in the action. So you need to take a little bit of material out of here. We're going to take a little material out of here to allow for that accessory that this can accept. And we need to take a little material out of here to fix our magazine switch. Let's see if there's anything I missed on here. So I think that wraps up our visual inspection of this gun. As you can see, that there's plenty for us to fix, and there'll be a lot to go over in future episodes. So if you don't mind, do the YouTube stuff, and we'll see you in the mechanical inspection.